Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Two legends, one can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can. Born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. Good Tuesday. So I don't know why I didn't think of it until last night, but a little bit later today on the show, Robert Cahaley will be here from Trafalgar. They're the ones, one of the few, if only, national polling people who called 2016. You remember them. They were on last night on Fox. And they were talking about how even if you go with this surge for Harris, Trump is still ahead in most of the battleground states. And then, the smartest of all, what is it explicitly that President Trump has to do? If he does that, he'll win the election. If he doesn't, he's probably not going to win it. That's what it comes down to. I'll play you coming off Elon Musk and Trump last night. This disturbing guy, and I went back and I researched him. Dan found it toward the very end of the show yesterday. They had a media scrum talking about Musk and Trump last night. And I found out the guy that asked this, which is shocking given that he's an alleged journalist, is from the Washington Post. You'll hear him meander on, wanting to know, will the White House do anything to cut this off last night when misinformation starts? My God. You know, even for media bias, it's not media bias. It's way beyond. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of things. And we're going to see more and more of this right here in Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro is dedicated to this with his little henchman, Al Schmidt, to go after you if you're giving misinformation, what they characterize as misinformation. Now, last night, before last night's Musk-Trump event, Elon Musk got a letter from a French bureaucrat, an unelected French bureaucrat, who is the digital czar. I'm glad somebody's the czar. And this guy can, even if you're here in the United States, he believes interfere and shut off Twitter, shut this off so his citizens are not affected by misinformation. I mean, just think about how far this goes. And again, we made this point. It's been the last 5 to 7 years that people on the left who used to be talking about the right wing shutting them down. Is that from Saving Private Ryan again?
No, this is again the same person singing,
okay,
but this is it's Edith Piaf, but it's not the same song.
So the French and the EU, which is an authoritarian outfit extraordinaire, thought they were sending a warning of the consequences and what they would do to Elon Musk and Twitter last night. So think about it. It's a former president, hopefully a president again, one of America's most famous entrepreneurs, business people ever, the world's richest man, Twitter, and these people are angling to shut this down or to have someone yell fact check toward it.
Fact check.
Now, this is exactly what the folksy guy, the guy who loves food, Walls, wanted to do with his snitch line during COVID. This is exactly the instinct of Kamala Harris and almost every progressive out there, that they can define this and they can shut it down. They do not believe in the First Amendment. They're blatant about it. All right, so here is the Washington Post guy yesterday. And Dan found it at the end of the show, and we're going, could this guy seriously have gone to journalism, come up through the ranks? And then I found out he has a Washington Post, that he's asking this just overwhelmed, shall we say, communications person for Biden about, can't somebody do something tonight with this misinformation, this disinformation? Here's how it sounded.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here about the responsibilities that social media platforms have.
Okay, we got it, Dan. Let's try to get that guy on. I don't think in a million years he would. I would just let him talk a little bit. Imagine his mission as a journalist is to censor, is to deem something misinformation, disinformation. Who's going to be the czar of that? Remember, the Biden administration had one for a while. The EU has a digital master, and he makes these decisions, and then that's it. Look, I don't care what the French do. Our antagonism toward France, we've been over that a million times. But in what universe do they think they can interfere in this? And this is the same media. Now, John Berman, to his credit, now, I'm not a big Berman guy, but he is consistent in going after stuff. He had on the top Harris spokesperson and said she doesn't have anything on her schedule today, tomorrow. How about an interview? Why is she not doing an interview? And the spokesperson said, well, she's giving a speech on Friday. So he went after it. Media's not doing that. But they're agitated that Musk and Trump can get together on an interview that they deem to be misinformation, disinformation. Now, there are lines that can be crossed by anybody where there might be problematic. These are rare. But saying what you think is happening is misinformation, disinformation. What this is to guys like the Washington Post, they think and they resent what I do and what you like, talk radio. I'll debate that guy anywhere. I'll debate him in the newsroom, Dan, of the Washington Post. Bring 100 of them in. Can you imagine those stuffed shirts sitting around telling me misinformation, disinformation? Let's get it on. Let's go right here. What do they know that we don't? They're journalists who want to censor.
Dom has a countering opinion on misinformation, disinformation. Would like to highlight an opposing opinion on the issue?
Yes, who's that?
No, for this Cleve Wootson guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what you're going to say. Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Tell them to come on right now. Tell them,
I can hear myself at first.
Yeah, you have me buttoned up here and hermetically sealed. He can talk for 5 minutes and tell us what he was trying to do yesterday.
Dom's in a straitjacket.
Then we'll get it on here. We'll see about misinformation, disinformation from the Washington Post.
Give you one of those masks like Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah, I wonder about, I have to go back and go through my file in my mind of the hoaxes the Washington Post has gone forward with. You know, they've been pretty big. Jesse Smollett and things like that. They've been pretty big on that. What kind of question are we getting here with this misinformation, disinformation? Well, remember this. It's important because here in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, you may remember months ago, he's called upon Homeland Security. He's called upon all kinds of branches of the federal government. So the Pennsylvania Department of State, they handle the elections. They put out a directive in the last couple of days reminding people you shouldn't expect to know the results of the election on election night. Now, by election night, they mean in the wee small hours of the morning. Here we go again. We've spent billions of dollars. We've made this point. They are supposed to keep counting. Do not stop counting. And several people on Twitter, DeSantis among them, said, well, how come we have more people in Florida and yet we're able to do this much more efficiently and ahead of time than Pennsylvania? This is the disinformation, misinformation. If you can't keep up with the counting, you're supposed to hire more people, tag them in, tag them out, bring in as many, and count. You're not going to stop, and you're not going to tell us it's going to take a week. You're going to do it. That's by law. Now, Republicans should have jumped on this. I'm alerting them to it. And to reiterate, and to go to the courts right now, is this the law or is it not? That they're supposed to get this done. The money's been put in there, and the object of the money is to say, you're going to have this done. Even 6 o'clock in that morning, we're going to know who's won Pennsylvania. Is there any reason we shouldn't? Well, because they're saying we shouldn't expect it. Philadelphia is one of them saying it. This is what is a problem. You're flying in the face. You are the one that is spreading election integrity problems. You're the one doing it, not me. You're supposed to say, we're going to get that counted. We have backup teams. We have plenty of teams. We have the modern technology. We are going to get it counted. Not, well, don't expect to hear anytime soon. All right, so this guy with the Washington Post, though, is hard to believe, but MSNBC had on the CEO of the Center for Countering Digital Hate.
Oh, that exists?
Yes, who knew? Huh. Here's another guy with the Center Countering Digital Hate.
Today I learned.
I don't know what that's the abbreviation of that, but let's see. CCDH.
CCD was fun in middle school.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Catholic.
Catholic, yeah, and they added an H to it. All right, here's what Imran Ahmed said about Elon Musk doing this interview with Trump.
250 million views for claims that voting is vulnerable to fraud. None of the posts displayed a community note, which is odd because Mr. Musk says that community notes, the sort of the self-regulation scheme for posting, is a way of ensuring that it's an immediate way to refute anything false, are the exact words he said. None of them carried one of those community notes, and begs the question, is he suppressing notes on his own posts so that he's not showing his own users? But it does appear clear that he's abusing his privileged position to sow disinformation that generates discord and distrust in the electoral process. Precisely the kind of conspiracy theories that lead then to atrocious assaults on election workers and the kinds of thing that the Secretary of State was just talking about.
All right. They don't like it that Elon Musk has Twitter, has X. They don't like it. He's got a huge chip in the game. They don't like talk radio. They don't like the internet. They don't like social media. They don't like all these platforms because now they don't have complete and total control. So their technique is to say they know, they're journalists, you're not. We're going to censor you because you differ with us. Everything is a conspiracy. When the entire enterprise is a conspiracy to prop up Kamala Harris. That's what they're engaged in right now. All right, let me give you the side question now. I'll play you two coming up. Robert Cahaley, what he said on Fox last night. He hasn't been with us in a while. He's the Trafalgar guy. And Kay Haley was the one that called it in 2016 that Trump would win when most or all called it he would not. He's been with us regularly. His only drawback is he likes the Atlanta Braves. He's in Atlanta. And Kay Haley last night had advice for Trump that I think Kellyanne Conway's saying. It comes down to, will Trump and the Trump campaign do this? If they do, they'll stop her. If they don't, then I don't think they're going to win. So at least when you know what you have to do, that's half the battle. Now just do it. All right, here's 855-839-1210, the side question.
My answer.
I'm trying to remember. That's a good one. How we arrived at this.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I think it's Robin Williams or something.
Yeah.
We asked, Robin Williams passed away, suicide, around this time. What person could you see having a cartoon, being in a cartoon character?
Making for a great cartoon character.
Great cartoon character. And Dan, out of nowhere, I have to agree with you. Janet Yellen.
Yeah.
Janet Yellen talking about inflation.
Oh, that's where it came from. I think it's her birthday today. Happy birthday,
okay.
Janet Yellen. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Every time the woman talks, she's in such a bubble. My God.
Oh, yeah. She's 78 years old today. Congratulations, Janet Yellen. She reminds me of the one Inside Out character that's like Sadness, I think. Yeah, she really is like a cartoon character. The way she talks like this all the time.
Well, when I Googled it, Bryan Cranston is like Ned Flanders. There's a lot going on there on The Simpsons. So he's already, even though his persona's not that.
I think Trump is the answer.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
we'll take Trump off. We always do, yes.
And Richard Simmons, rest in peace.
That would be a great one.
Yeah.
I think Waltz would.
Yeah, Waltz would make a good character.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He'd be eating all the time. And firing
Breaking
paintball.
news, fat guy likes grease.
I mean, did he really, by the way, I've been calling the chaplain, Dan, just so you know. I'm trying not to be too pesky. Chaplain. And I may have to say.
How many times have you called the boy?
Well, can I say I may have to confess something? No, I'm not going to do that. That's sacrilegious to get him on. He's going after walls. But the report out today of having the National Guard fire paintballs at people who were not wearing their mask in Minnesota.
As you were saying with Dawn, I do think this might make for a great station event.
Who are we going to fire paintballs at?
Me.
Oh, okay. Oh, you heard that.
Maybe we'll throw you out there too.
Okay, absolutely.
We can have you compare how it feels versus getting hit in the arm with a golf ball. How's that doing today?
It's funny. It's gone away pretty well. Yeah. Still in agony, though. Oh, the pain and suffering. Lawyers out there, agony of it, yes.
So bad.
So 855-839-1210. Yeah, Jim will go with Joe of Exton. Definitely is a
what an answer,
character.
Jim.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Answer.
Yeah, how much on brand Joe of Exton would be. So hit us with that. That's a side question. Kay Haley here a little bit later on. Last night, there were technical problems. There probably was some degree of hacking, some degree of trying to screw this up for a while. But they can't stand it that Elon Musk is a huge player with Twitter, which is still very, I'm not sure if it's called cutting edge anymore, but it's there. So it's not just some old Fox News channel or something. They want to stamp out every bit of platforming that's going on. That is where the revolution is, and it's against guys like this guy from the Washington Post. I'd love to get him on. You know, and after a couple of obligatory establishment questions of softballs, what the hell are you thinking? You're a journalist. Why would you want to shut this down? Just then shut up. Just let me hear for 3 or 4 minutes the reasoning process here. Don't you counter what you think is an error with more speech, with better speech, with more research that people would go to you? Isn't that the way it works? And why are people turning to any number of other sources? Because they realize the bias, the lack of a different viewpoint that is in many of these so-called legacy media. All right, phone lines again are 855-839-1210. That's how you get in on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to getcash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to getcash.com. That's getcash.com. Getcash.com.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
If you've been dealing with a POS system that just isn't getting the job done and you're in the restaurant, retail, or casino business, you need to call my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have the fastest and easiest POS system to learn, use, and manage. Their all-in-one POS system will save you time, effort, and money. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, PDQ can help grow your business like never before. Visit pdqpos.com.
Hey, it's Rhea. Keep the summer vibes going with Lexus of Cherry Hill during the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. They are proudly celebrating 35 years in business. Over 300 new and L-certified pre-owned Lexus to choose from, and the all-new GX has arrived. Being veteran-owned, family-operated, and a 6-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence winner, Lexus of Cherry Hill provides luxury customer service. So go talk to Tony and his team to set yourself up with some of the best deals of the year. Visit lexusofcherryhill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano program. Simple premise. Knock it out of the park, though. Hit us with somebody you think, a real person, would make a great cartoon character.
How about lead singer of Flock of Seagulls, Mike Score, who's now bald but used to have that crazy haircut that had the flips on the sides, you know?
Okay. All right. It's kind of an outside-the-box way.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
The big thing breaking today, at least the point of emphasis, more than usual, at least on Fox, is something that would be the first question. I know that you can think of a million other. No, I'm telling you, the first question, if I had the chance, and I might not get off it forever, if I had Kamala Harris. And that is, she has said repeatedly, she wants the full deal, national health care, meaning you lose your private health care. This will be great health care, she said in multiple interviews, multiple times. The cost guesstimate of that would be $44 trillion. And it would be 150 million Americans she would dragoon off that. Now, I know to some people, when they think of the First Amendment, when they think of the obviously, constitutionality, those are fighting words. I'm telling you, when we went through this with Obama, I can remember just the anger. No, you're not taking away my health care, buddy. And Obama, in the end, didn't come anywhere near where she is. This idea we'd all be...
You'll be able to keep your health care plan, period.
Yeah. All right. Now, the people that got on it, the stuff that was done and all that, we know the lies. We know the whole history of it. What I'm saying is, as a proposal, where she starts out, though, this is where Bernie Sanders may be just as far, if not farther. This ought to be something where Americans go, no, you're not changing your position on this. There's nothing you're changing. And this is, to me, fighting words. You're not taking my health care. And this idea, well, why wouldn't you want to be? What about all the other people? Let them work. Let them get their health care. Let's move toward doing that. But you're not going to inflict on us the idea we'd all be dragooned off to government-run health care. But that's exactly what she believes. Now, could she defend it, the policy part? No, she can't. That's why whoever she chooses this interview with is not going to ask about that. They'll dwell on in the beginning, being the border czar. They'll let her fluff that off and mock that and say, can you imagine these people still arguing, I was sent there, root causes. They'll kill 15 or 20 minutes doing that. That's the most predictable area. After a gushing question about racism and misogyny toward her and how that happens, they'll go into something like the border czar, misinformation, disinformation. Now, with Lester Holt, it wasn't. Lester Holt beautifully did it, didn't ruffle anybody, just said, well, you haven't been to the border. And that's enough to trigger her. Imagine her doing 2 hours impromptu last night as Trump did. Now, I'm not saying he and Elon Musk were cogent all the time. They didn't ramble off.
What was with the lisp?
Yeah, there was a little bit of lisping.
Apparently some technological thing.
There was also saying that Melania and Kamala Harris look alike, or they remind me of each other. I'm not sure whatever that's about with Trump, but I think he was saying they're both beautiful women.
Okay.
That's what I gleaned from that.
It's not as bad as.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
And, you know, I can't imagine anything she does, particularly an interview with Holt like that, is not scripted. They play it out, what to say. I think in the nano moment, she just said, to hell with you, buddy. I'll do whatever I want. I haven't been to Europe. And that wasn't even rehearsed. That's what I really think of you. And what the hell?
I don't understand the point that you're making.
You don't understand the point. True, you probably didn't understand it. You don't know what you're doing. Just think of how little it takes to get her out of that show. But the healthcare thing, to me, is as major as anything we've seen. You know, and you can't depend upon the Republicans holding the House to stop them from doing that. That is a consequence that is unthinkable of where we have to go. Now, here's Robert Cahaly. He'll be on at 2 o'clock today. You remember him. He's a pretty entertaining guy, the head of Trafalgar Polling. They were the ones who were right in 2016. So I can remember a couple days after the election, we had them on.
Brave Sam, though.
Yeah, I know. Which are really bad this year, as the Phillies are bothering.
You might want to talk about that a little bit.
Oh, I will. I'll bring it. Oh, he's going to say injuries. I'm going to say take your own advice. He's on last night with the guy that owns a company with him on Fox. And rather than just giving the polling, which isn't horrible for Trump in the battleground states at this point, they get into what is it that Trump has to do. Here's what they said.
They actually have ads deployed, and some of their ads are very good, but there's a lot of money floating around in these PACs and groups, and they're waiting and waiting. The truth is, you now need rapid response. Sean, every single thing you just showed on your own program needs to be turned into an ad that is either on social media or bought on a network affiliate or on some cable. It's got to be out there because people don't know all of this. I'll give one example. In our poll, we asked people if, in fact, Kamala Harris really was the border czar. Only 50% in these states said that, yes, they could say she was the border czar. That means that the media, the rest of the media, who's blocking most of the information that voters need to see, you've got to overcome that with ads, and you got to do it quickly because folks are going to be voting in 30 days.
What's your best recommendation, Robert? What do they need to be focused on? What's missing?
Well, what's missing most importantly is the contradictions. I mean, the stuff you showed at the beginning of this program is exactly what they need. Kamala and Waltz, in their own words, saying things that are nutty and that are crazy, that are out of the step with what people believe in America. You know, the average person that's going to win this election, that's going to decide it, doesn't watch cable news, conservative or liberal, and they don't attend Trump or Harris rallies. So the first person to talk about tips on advertising is probably the one that's going to own that issue. So it's about getting out with these issues and showing the contradiction.
All right, a couple of things there, too, Dan. So you wouldn't want me, you got these guys who say we're going to squirrel away the money for a big pitch at the end. You know my thought. We're going to bludgeon you now, and then we're going to go out and get a lot more money, and we're going to bludgeon you again. Then I'm going to try to get more money and try to bludgeon you before the finish line.
What's the strategy? To keep a war chest?
Yeah, to keep a war chest. No, go out there now. It's about defining her now. It's a dead period where she's not doing anything to define herself. She's not going to do any interview. She can't counter it. Define her now. Show exactly. Now, he also said he thinks the issue is the economy, but also energy, how that plays in. I don't know about energy getting people roused up. I think it's the big two. It's inflation, and it's illegal immigration. And this tips thing, they got to come up with something. Well, our buddy Chris Tremaglia, Dan's got a column today, Washington Examiner. He's an editor now. He says, did Kamala Harris just plagiarize Moms for Liberty? Now, I'm not saying this part is true, because Moms for Liberty, who we proudly have as a guest many times, they call themselves Joyful Warriors. Well, what are Walz and Harris calling themselves?
Oh, no.
Joyful Warriors.
Oh, these plagiarists.
Yes, exactly. Now, you could say, come on
If you had them in your English class, what would you do with them?
Oh, boy, this is a zero and then a public
kick out, yeah.
Kicked out and a public shaming should happen here. Yeah, but look, in a political sense, I give her credit. She says boldly, yeah, I'm going to get rid of your tip. She didn't say to. She said, I'm going to do it. I don't care that somebody else said it. It's my idea, and I'm sticking to that. Here's the montage played last night that Cahaly and his colleague were talking about Harris and what you ought to put in those ads.
If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
You support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. We have to reimagine public safety in America.
She's promoting policies like saying that every single carbon emission in the country, every car, should be eliminated within the next 11 years, everything from a 70 to 80% tax rate. Do you agree that she could possibly, in this ideology of the socialist left, could splinter your party?
No. I think that she is challenging the status quo. I think that's fantastic. We've got to increase the corporate tax rate. We also have to increase taxes for the top 1%. And that part of that is going to be about repealing that tax bill they just passed. And also looking at estate taxes are going to have to go up.
Would you support changing the dietary guidelines?
Yes.
The food pyramid, what people
yes.
To reduce red meat specifically.
Yes, I would. And
plastic straws are a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Millions of, specifically, assault weapons that are already in circulation. What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that.
And then there's the laugh thrown in on top of it at the end. Man, we're gonna need a couple $100 more million for the Trump war chest to get all these out there. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Your thoughts last night, if you jumped in, Elon Musk and Trump. There wasn't too much new there, other than something on illegal immigration where Musk and Trump differed. And I'll tell you what that is coming up. And I think it's important, and Trump should make this point in a way that helps him on it, but also drives it home. It's about the American worker, isn't it? Hey, are you constantly searching for an extra energy boost? As we age, our bodies produce less of the natural fuel needed to combat fatigue. Discover Rescue Orosine from Rescue Natural Supplements. Rescue Orosine helps enhance energy production at the cellular level, supports a healthy heart, and maintains optimal blood pressure. Plus, right now, our exclusive radio offer to listeners can take advantage of a special offer. Buy one bottle of Orosine, get another completely free. All you have to do is use the code FUEL, F-U-E-L, when placing your order. To place the order, visit res-q.com or 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Don't miss out on this limited-time offer. Remember, use the code FUEL, F-U-E-L, at checkout. Mention the code FUEL when you call or use it at res-q.com. Get that second bottle of energy-boosting Rescue Orosine totally free.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We are locked into a dry and pleasant weather pattern through the rest of the week. Mixture of sun and clouds today with a high temperature below average at 83. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low mid-60s for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And Wednesday, sunshine and clouds a bit warmer with a high 86.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Gail Schlosser, and I started with Crash Proof Retirement in 2016. What impressed me about the Crash Proof events was that Phil presented us with hard facts. It's just impossible to have a steady income from the stock market. If the market crashes, I would lose most of my retirement money. With Crash Proof Retirement, I'll take money out to go on a cruise, and I'll still have money in my accounts. With the Crash Proof Retirement system, I'm getting great returns, up to 12 to 15%, because I can take the money out and the interest keeps building money for me in my Crash Proof accounts. And I have not had to pay any fees. My money is safe and it's not going to be dwindle away in the stock market. With the Crash Proof Retirement system, I've got peace of mind, so I can take all the cruises I want.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands? Done. Groceries? Got 'em. It's a good time to give yourself a reward. You know the one. Your favorite tasty cake treat. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouthwatering candy cake? No matter where you are, choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, accept no substitutes.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey
All right, it is Dom time. Dan, did you happen to see on Twitter Mary Gay Scanlon took a turn working at Wawa?
What?
Yes.
Was she making hoagies?
Yeah.
She get yelled at to make a sandwich like during a riot
it says,
in Mayfair?
Bill Lawrence says Mary Gay Scanlon left hair in her shorties.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Holly from The Office?
Yes. That's
Decency.
very much like that. So is this another move to show that they're real people? I think her husband, too, is the head of the biggest law firm in town.
We did get a quote from Mary Gay Scanlon.
I am a real person with...
Maybe the Dean of Decency will take a turn doing that. I don't think she would.
Decency.
All right, so we got the side question today, which is hit us with someone, and Dan was showing me Janet Yellen would be a cartoon character, without a doubt.
Sadness from Inside Out. She looks like her. She talks like her. It's all
exactly.
the same.
It's got everything. So hit us with that. Have some fun with it. Don't make it just all political. I get it. That's where the mind goes. But Joe of Exton's up on Twitter, too. Several people thought of that.
Great answer.
All right, now I mentioned this last night. It was not a major disagreement, but Elon Musk trying to make the point that aren't most of these people coming here illegally good people, just looking economically, et cetera. Okay. And Trump talking about significant numbers who were not, but that's not really the point. The bigger point is illegal immigration is bad for the American worker. That's what the Wall Street Journal wants. That's what big business wants, to exploit this. It drives down wages. It undercuts everything. And it's amazing to me, well, maybe not, because they're in the tank. They're with progressives. They're with liberals. The big labor unions, unions in general, I've had them on. We've talked about it. They say they oppose that too, yet they don't do too much to expose it, go after, or tar the Democrat Party with it. They're all in on it. They're going to be taken care of, kind of. And the rest of the American workers, well, too bad. They're going to be undercut by it. So I hope that Trump starts to make that point. It's not just the emotion of the damage of criminals among us that are here illegally. It's also just the whole premise undercuts the American worker. And that's what Democrats want to do. That's what the Wall Street Journal wants to do. In other words, every one of them is getting something out of this. The Catholic Church, they're getting more parishioners who are going to shut up and do what they're told. And they feel better about themselves, and they lecture the rest of us, like Cardinal Dolan. We talked about that yesterday in this. Wall Street Journal, they want to exploit workers. That's what they're in for. Democrat Party, they want to sow chaos and hopefully someday think they'll turn these people into voters, or maybe now, if they can get away with it in some way, shape, or form. So everybody has something they gain by it. What about the American worker? 855-839-1210. And that stuff from Robert Cahaley, 2 o'clock today. These guys, you may remember. I'll go through with him if you've forgotten. How does Cahaley and Trafalgar poll that they're more accurate than these others? We've talked about how they get people involved. We've talked about how they ask questions that are different. We talk about how they ferret out, trying not to skew one way or the other. And they've been remarkable at it. And they say at this point in time, it's neck and neck pretty much in the battleground states. But the formula is there for Trump. Throw the money in now. Define her now. I'm talking big time money, hundreds of millions. And the two issues are, again, inflation and illegal immigration. Make it stick as best you can now. Over the course of time, This is going to wear down. Now you need hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. Well, that's what your job is. Get it. All out. You might need another $300 or $400 million. And to Dan's point, my point, I'm doing it now. To their point, do it now. If she gets past the convention too much with this glowing image, cover of Time magazine and the rest, then it's going to be harder to dislodge that. Now is the time to define. The issues certainly are there. And you can scream all you want. It's about winning. We realize the media is not going to do their job. They're not going to do it.
Do it now!
But it's always now. It's always urgency. Yeah, well, what about if we run out of money later on? Oh, stop it. Oh, well, we might not have money then. Early voting will be starting pretty soon. It's your job to go and get more, whatever you have to do. 855-839-1210. I think that's smart. I think these guys are smart. Oh, no, you guys are getting nervous. You're jumping the gun. Well, I'm not nervous that the information's not there. It's that the American people have to be persuaded. You heard Cahaley. They are people that are not having this get through. There's probably only about 250,000 of them. I know that's, you mean to say these people that don't know? Yes, they will decide the election in the end. As sad as that is, that's the case. All right, so what do we do? Got to reach them now. By the way,
do it. Do it.
Stop Dan from doing this too. Get out there and do it so he won't be playing this. The Guardian, which is the liberal publication that we don't get as much as the Daily Mail here in the States, they say Trump is giving up a bit on going through the mainstream media. He's going through these outlier groups that are hyper masculine and moving to the right. Not just last night what he did with Elon Musk, but Dan, some of these screwballs, I don't think you know them too much. This guy, Andrew Tate, I'm not going near that guy. Logan Paul is another guy.
Hey, Logan Paul should not be said in the same sentence as Andrew
Well,
Tate.
Okay.
Come on.
But
Andrew Tate's like a...
Yeah, but there's one guy in here who sniffs the chair of the person he just interviewed when they get up. It's part of the whole shtick and all.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Yeah.
Who does that?
What's his name?
Okay, I don't know.
It's
23-year-old.
Yeah.
It's called the butt sniffer. Okay.
Butt sniffer, butt sniffer, yeah. So these are guys he's going to. Look, he's on TikTok too, which I don't like, but you know what? We got to win here, so I'm willing to put up with it for now. But the butt sniffer.
Butt sniffer.
Why are males, and it makes a point yesterday, if you missed the show yesterday, you missed one of the all-time great, it's one of the top 10, Dan, this year, without a doubt.
Streamer that does that. What a shtick.
I know. We had John from Wallingford who called in and said he was a PhD in economics. Because the point I was making, how would any normal, straight, white male find a place in the Democrat Party? That's what Walz is supposed to represent. Like, he's normal. And it was quite a conversation. Then after that, we were off to the races for the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be others out there like John who think, yeah, they have a place in the Democrat Party. I think straight white males who are normal might say, I don't have any place in the Democrat Party, but I can't take Trump. Okay, I understand that. But don't tell me you could be valued inside the Democrat Party. Where's the evidence of that? They're holding up walls to say, look, he's a straight, white, normal male, and he can be VP.
One thing that I think of when I think of manly is hunting.
Yeah.
A lot of Democrats love hunters, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think of camo hats.
Yeah.
He just reeks of masculinity.
Sure.
So I thought I would ask, Dan, can we, just to poke fun at this.
Masculinity NASCAR race, they're all Democrats there, you know?
Yeah. Who's the most masculine of the Democrats out there?
Bernie Sanders.
All right. We'll start with Bernie Sanders.
Bike all over Vermont.
Adam, well, I'll tell you the least masculine.
I think he might be an avocado at this
And
point.
I don't mean this in any heterosexual, homosexual way. I just least is Adam Schiff. I can't imagine Adam Schiff doing that thing. Oh, by the way, Rode responded to you. Did you see that text?
Yes, she did. She said it was very manly.
I told you, the taxi thing. I told you I wasn't making it up. Boy, I wish I had tape of that. To see fellow men stop the taxi. One guy walks in front of it, Dan, and is holding it up like that in New York. What did Rose say to you exactly?
I'm pulling it up now. First off, she wants to take me out to Gallows. So
there you go. Back to Gallows dinner, right?
Boy, if I'd been listening today, I would have pulled right over and called. I was out with a friend for lunch. Dom's taxi call was very, very loud and very manly sounding. I was impressed with a big smiley face.
There you go. I
wow,
told you.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. I didn't expect her to go full bore, supporting it.
I told you, yes. Well, when your feet hurt from the heels and all that, you want to get a cab, then you can break down anything.
Hey, Pressler just said good Pennsylvania voter registry news. Registration news.
I'll get them on. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Get them on right now. Yeah. All right. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. We'll come to your calls next, and we'll get your cartoon characters. Don't forget, Kay Haley, you want to hear this at 2 o'clock because I think you're getting a lot of bad news, this poll, that poll. These guys are the ones that called it, but I'm more interested. I know some people think, who are you to tell Trump? He knows exactly what he's doing. No, he doesn't. Not on this, he doesn't. On this, he's got to buckle down, suck it up. It's hard to see what the media is doing with Harris. I agree. It's impossible to stand it, but that's where discipline and winning comes in. And then continuously hit at the things we're talking about. It will, in the end, persuade these people to reject her. Hey, football is approaching. It's time to get in on the action early this season. Favorite NFL futures bets. Tons of different player props. Passing yards, TDs, rushing, receiving totals, and great team markets you can bet on. Like to make the playoffs, win the division. Eagles, Super Bowl, maybe. Right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for the football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to sign up today. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We all love summer, right? But the beach isn't just for summer. In fact, the beach, and in particular the Cape May beach, is just beautiful in the fall. If you haven't been to Cape May in the fall, you're missing out, and you should book your stay at the Grand Hotel of Cape May for a September to remember. The Grand offers special midweek packages so you can enjoy the beach without breaking the bank. Stay 2 nights and save 10%. Stay 3 nights, get 10% off and $55 a night in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, you're going to get 10% off and $65 a night in resort credits, and they can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink, the gift shop, and so much more. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor and 1 indoor. I'm telling you, the Grand is my happy place, and you will not be disappointed. Book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay today at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. And our next live show is Friday, September 6th So book your stay today, grandhotelcapemay.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Free speech lives here with Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, Dom time. Welcome in, everyone. It's been a while since yesterday we heard from John in Wallingford. That was a reasonable conversation, but it certainly got people fired up. On this premise, if you're a white normal male, like, Josh Shapiro, how much place is there for you in the Democrat Party? I mean, I think that's one of the major reasons why he had no shot. He normally defends Israel. I mean, it's a pretty obvious thing. And Walz tells us you can be normal. Is Walz normal? He's calling everybody weird. Is this guy a normal point of view here? The things we've heard about Walz. That's what he's being sold as. You can be like me. That's normal. Gary in West Philly, though, we haven't spoken in quite a while. I hear he's been tearing things up on YouTube.
Yeah, pretty active in the chat. It's nice to see him back.
Good. Yes, let's go to Gary in Philly. Hey, Gary, nice work on YouTube.
Hey, what's going on, Dom? For full disclosure, I'm not in Philly right now. I'm in Constant Bar, Dominican Republic.
Hey! A vacation, or what are you doing there?
Business?
Well, I'm an engineer, a firewall engineer. So they gave us the opportunity to work from wherever we want to work. So why am I still in Philadelphia if they gave us that, right? So.
I'm impressed, though, but still back home, the Dom Giordano. I never knew you were an engineer.
I'm going to update the caller card right now.
Right.
Gary in the Dominican Republic. There you go, all right?
So, yeah, Dom, you would love it here. This is a right-wing's wet dream. There's no government. Abortion is illegal. I mean,
Well, Gary, wait a minute. On that point, you don't strike me as a guy that wants massive government. You're a libertarian. Come on, maybe to the left libertarian.
No, Dom, I'm a liberal's liberal. Don, how can I look my niece in the face and say that you can be all that you can be with a cretin like Donald Trump in the office and what he represents? Donald Trump is the epitome of Mussolini. And me and you are two old school Catholic people. We know. Ignorance and power. Come on, Don.
Well, tell me about Kamala Harris. Are you just an ever-Trumper? No matter who's there, that's enough for you.
Don, I would have voted for Joe Biden on the feeding tube. You know that.
There we go. That's why I just was established. The honesty is tremendous, Gary. So what's the how do you see the election turning out then? Which America is it? Is the America of Cretans or not?
Don, I told you this before. Me and you come from the same America, okay? That was great for then. But for these new people, it's not. It's over for us, Don. Our days of Cadillacs and great outings and things like that, that's over. Okay? It's up to these young people to move forward, Dom.
Well, it sounds like a pretty good America to me, and particularly some of our conversations over the years have been incredible.
Dom, it wasn't great for everybody. It wasn't great for my family. It wasn't great for a lot of people's families that look like mine, but we progress forward. And it's time for these people to take the ball forward, Don. It's their generation.
Okay. Well, so that's Harris then is the representative of this generation.
Not necessarily her, right? But they look like her. She is the first wave.
All right. Well, Gary,
you know that she's older than me. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear it. Gary, please stay in touch. We mean that. We'll hear from you again soon. Thanks, Gary. All the way from the Dominican Republic. All right, coming up.
My role as a chat moderator. No name calling, please, Gary.
Yeah, well, but Dan, he's up there in the pantheon of. I don't know who I'd like to hear debate. Robert and Ben Salem and Gary debating. That might be interesting.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Go like and subscribe and join the discussion on there.
I didn't know he was an engineer. All right, we're going to talk with Sunshine, the Trump campaign spokesperson, about a couple of things. Last night's Elon Musk and Trump, and ask her, there's Caroline Sunshine, that the advice of Robert Cahaly, you can't do better than that. Get out there now to find Vice President Harris now. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in with Dom and Dan. Caroline Sunshine is next.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
What happens when Washington liberals spend trillions of dollars? Just look around. Prices are way up. They pushed a bunch of reckless spending, and Senator Bob Casey voted for it. Now we're paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices, and higher utility bills. Casey helped create this mess by voting with President Biden 98% of the time, including voting for trillions in wasteful spending. Instead of listening to the warnings, Senator Casey sided with the liberals, causing this inflation disaster. Casey voted to let illegals take your tax dollars. He voted to let illegals collect $500 million in COVID relief checks. It's more for illegals and less for us. Come on, Senator Casey. That's just not right. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Be prepared with CHIP. Free or low-cost healthcare for Pennsylvania kids and teens. From checkups to unexpected bumps and bruises and everything in between, CHIP has you covered. Don't wait until you need it. Be prepared with CHIP. Because every kid deserves quality healthcare and every parent deserves peace of mind knowing their kids are covered. CHIP. Free or low-cost healthcare for kids and teens under age 19. Learn more at chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. I'm just Gary in the Dominican Republic. I was telling Dan during the break, you don't know how many times over the years we've jousted from West Philly to the Dominican Republic. My God. Caroline Sunshine is the Deputy Director of Communications for the Trump campaign. How do you counter somebody who just aggressively not only goes in and steals your idea, but was the deciding vote to SIG 87,000 IRS agents? And the thing I would center on Dan, I'll ask Caroline this about the tipping thing, is they explicitly, while they were talking about going after billionaires and all that, they explicitly put in all kinds of directives around people making tips, burdening them with even more difficulty in keeping track of this, trying to bludgeon small businesses into compliance. It just ate at them. And I think the thing we've talked about tipping, I think progressives are against tipping. You see this many times. They're against the whole idea of it. They just want an established rate to take away one of the pleasures in life, which is determining how much you're going to tip.
Yeah.
Now, in my case with Roe, you can imagine it's never enough. And with Maisie, if the two of them, well,
I know we can't let them together.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they can't decide.
Well, what do you mean, Maisie?
50% tip.
A 50% tip.
What's going on here?
I think Caroline Sunshine strikes me as a huge tipper. Caroline, welcome back to Philadelphia. Hi.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, very good. We have wives that are excessive tippers, and we have to better call Kamala Harris up to see if that's
22% is enough, Maisie. We don't need to go with 30, 40%.
Yeah, exactly. They're crazy. So how does the campaign counter someone who just aggressively sachets in when she was the deciding vote and proud of it to start the mechanism that would savage people making tips and say, no, I don't want to tax tips anymore?
Yeah, well, President Trump actually said it best himself the last time he was in the great state of Pennsylvania when he said this election is between fake, 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 and fight, fight, fight. And boy, has that proven to be true. Like you said, I mean, I knew President Trump's policies were popular with just about everybody, but I didn't know they were so popular with Kamala Harris, who, when she announced her first new policy yesterday, decided to just plagiarize ours. Of course, President Trump announced that policy, no tax on tips, all the way back on June 9th in Las Vegas. 2 months later, Kamala, I guess, is the kid in the classroom who can't do her own homework, has to look over and cheat off of yours. And so she has now announced no tax on tips. But as you just pointed out, there's two problems with that. One, outright plagiarism. If you or I did that, we would be kicked out of school, fired. But Kamala Harris, career politician, these people just continue to fail upwards because the liberal mainstream media allows them to do so. However, we will not. But the second part is exactly what you said. It's actually the exact opposite, as is everything with Kamala Harris. The real Kamala Harris is always the exact opposite of what she's lying to you about. And as you mentioned, the Biden-Harris administration just this past year under the IRS rule actually instituted more tax on tips. So Kamala's real policy is more tax on tips. If she wanted to do no tax on tips, she would have already done it. But actually, they wanted to do the exact opposite, more tax on tips. So, we know that this is what happens when you run as, it's not even running as a Republican. It's running as the anti-establishment candidate, which is what President Trump has always been and continues to be in this race. We know when you're the anti-establishment candidate, you're running against a dishonest Democrat, usually. Could be Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, take your pick. But you're not just running against that nominee. You're always running against the liberal mainstream media, too, that carries water for them and conceals the truth. Where's the press fact-checking this? Where are all those articles today?
Well, in fact, Caroline, too, you guys have put it out, but for listeners on Twitter, the CBS headlining of this was shameful, even for CBS.
Mm-hmm.
On the one side, they focused when Trump said it, and the Wall Street Journal, shamefully, is still doing it, how much this would cost. Americans are not going to buy that. They think these people on tips, we want to fight for them. We don't want the IRS preying in. And when Harris did it, they said, boy, look at this, a new program. They didn't say anything about the costs when she proposed it.
That's right. That's right. And that's exactly what they do. They carry water for Kamala Harris just as they did for Joe Biden. And, she's been the nominee through selection versus election for 22 days, hasn't had to sit for a single press conference. All of these things will likely continue, actually, because the liberal mainstream media knows if she ever did have to face a tough question, sit down for a press conference, sit down for a tough interview, they know what would happen. The castle would crumble just as it did for Joe Biden. So our job at the campaign and our greatest campaign asset is President Donald J. Trump is to tell the truth. And what we find is that the American people, this has always been a theme ever since 2016. The liberal mainstream media, Democrat Party, people like Kamala Harris, career politicians who just morph themselves into whatever they think the crowd in front of them that day wants. They always have such a contempt and disregard for the American people. They treat the American people like they're not that smart, like they're not gonna see through the plot, And what President Trump does by being willing to cut through the fake news media bias is expose all of that. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And that's what we have to do, because look at how high the stakes are for this country. And it's such a disgrace that we have a dishonest media in this country that allows career politicians like Kamala Harris to lie, to be the frauds that they are. And, the press is supposed to play an important role in this country of actually holding power to account. They don't do that. They help corrupt liars like Kamala Harris try to get in the White House, and we're not going to let that happen.
Well, you guys doing a heck of a job, Caroline. Now, people want more information. I know President coming back to Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre on Saturday night. There's a rally. That's not too far from here. But more information, where do they go? Where's the best spot?
best place to go is donaldjtrump.com. That's donaldjtrump.com. That is our one-stop shop website, and I would encourage everybody to always visit the events tab because you can always see when President Trump, where he's headed next. Maybe he's headed someplace near you. You know, our rallies are so special, and our rallies in Pennsylvania hold very special meaning to the president, obviously the state where President Trump took a bullet for democracy. So please visit our website, donaldjtrump.com, but also, very important, President Trump has said we have to make this election too big to rig. Again, we all know how high the stakes are. We know how dishonest the Democrats are, not just Kamala Harris, but the entire Democrat Party. You have to make this election too big to rig. And so there's another website that you can visit, which is swampthevoteusa.com. That's swampthevoteusa.com. Visit that website. You can hear directly from President Trump. Make sure you have a plan to vote. That website is a one-stop shop if you need to register to vote, if you need to find out where you can vote, however you vote, whether that's early voting, mail-in voting, day of, in person, doesn't matter. We just want to make sure your ballot is secure and your voice is heard, and you can do that at swampthevoteusa.com.
Thank you, Caroline. Thanks for checking in today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for what you do.
Caroline Sunshine here on Talk Radio 1210, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Now, something else, it's all the rage, and I have no problem with this, but Delaware Valley Journal, ahead of the curve again, writes about it today. In Montgomery County, where they have the ice cream truck guy, remember that guy? He's going to come out. You don't even have to come in and cure your ballot if you screw up your mail-in ballot. He's going to come to the house, the new commissioner in Montgomery County. Well, now, Montgomery County to install free period product dispensers. Delaware Valley Journal reports.
Are you so anti-nosebleed, Dom?
Yeah, that's right. It's a nosebleed thing. No, I'm not anti them doing this. I get it. That would be pretty sad if people can't afford that, if there's a difficulty with it. That's not what it's about, though, is how the media is spinning this. Why would Republicans be against this? I don't think they are. At least I'm not. It's putting them in the boys' bathrooms in the elementary schools that Walls did. So there's a bill in Harrisburg that would now put these dispensers in schools, apparently. And the issue is, why put them in the boys' bathroom? That's where the insidious part of this comes down. I expect to hear more about this. And I don't know, maybe somebody does have an objection to it. It's going to cost, the figure they have is a $3 million grant. I think that's per year. So it is a bit pricey, but there is potentially a need there. It's more the issue, are they going to put this in the men's bathroom and then elementary school bathrooms? One good news to report on the school front, by the way, over in Deptford, the superintendent has capitulated, Dan, because the mayor, director of public safety, and the police commissioner went public and said, are you crazy? Do you know what a safety risk this would be? Having kids as young as, 6 or 7, have to get to school by walking up to 2 miles, all right, before they could hitch a ride or whatever. I didn't get anybody bothering me yesterday saying this is the parents' role. Isn't this more in Deptford? You're paying taxes.
Yeah.
So let's analyze this. I made this point. I'm more against universal free breakfast and free lunch programs. If you can't afford it, okay. The busing part, though, I think is tax dollars. We have school bus drivers. We have things going on. Why would we be cutting that where there's a safety element here? Yeah, they reversed it. Yeah, I saw that they reversed it. Yeah. I said, that the mayor and the others went public on Facebook and other places saying, are you kidding me? Not only that, how does this guy think he's doing this 2 weeks before school starts? What the heck goes on in decisions like this? And not only that, let's say they did walk, safety aside. That's going to take, for a 6-year-old, 2 miles. You could be looking at 30, 35 minutes easily.
Yeah.
I mean, who worked this out? What in the world do they think of around this? Well, then they said they were going to charge you $365 a year. I guess that's, in their mind, $1 a day, some kind of crazy. Where'd they come up with that number? What really is behind it, Dan? Do you have any thoughts of why all of a sudden Is it the teachers' unions wanting that money, the $1.6 million? Is that what it is? Who would have not said to this superintendent in their meetings, you're going to have a 6 and 7-year-old walk 2 miles, and that's 2 miles in the morning and then 2 miles at night every day? In what universe are you going to do that? Got any theory? Because I'm kind of out of them here.
I have no idea. I have no idea why they would think to do this.
Right.
Besides trying to save some money, or like is it related to them not being able to find bus drivers?
No, apparently they have their own staff now, some kind of deal they have with the company. So, yeah, I don't...
Because that's the only justification that I'd accept is, hey, look, it's similar to policing and such. It's been very hard to fill the ranks with competent bus drivers, and we can't provide... But no,
they
it's
didn't
not,
say that.
It's not, yeah.
No, so it's more of a question of we're going to save something and we're going to put it into something else. Well, guess what? You can't save on this. And again... I think it's more legitimate, Dan, as a service to parents to pick up kids in a safe manner than it is to have universal breakfast and lunch programs. The breakfast and lunch programs ought to be based upon need. It's based upon the need of all parents when it comes to time. Who's going to pick the kid up at 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon? How many are going to be able to do that? Not too many.
No.
Because of all kinds of situations. So I see a clear distinction with this versus saying everybody gets a free lunch and a free breakfast. No, that's not the way. That's the job of the parent. If you can't afford it, which, by the way, brings me to the debate I had with Joe Sestak on this. Coming up, they tag in Admiral Joe Sestak to tell us not only is Walls a great military guy, but he's a representative of the white working class in the Democrat Party. Admiral Joe Sestak, Congressman Joe Sestak. I wonder what he's doing today. Dan, in the back and forth I've had with him, I don't know. He's not debating me, I'll tell you that.
Hey, I just got word, producer's note, Scott Presler on at 1:30 today.
Yeah, he's got big news of stuff going well here in Pennsylvania. Scott Presler on the case. So we'll talk with him at 2 o'clock. Robert Cahaly, the Trafalgar pollster who called it right in 2016 that Trump would win, and his advice toward the Trump campaign. I don't see them doing it at this point, though. The good news is Kellyanne Conway looks like she's coming back. The advice is spend the money now. All-out blitz to define Harris. I'm not waiting. Yeah, well, what are you going to do then, Dom? You big shot. You're going to spend the money now? You're going to go and get more. That's what it is. Because if Harris starts to come down a bit in the polls, you know what? People are going to be showing up with more money. 855-839-1210. You can get on board here. And if you're in the Deptford area, it's school bus thing. I'm not saying it's a right.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
All right, so allegedly in Massachusetts, the way they do it is this way for all public schools. I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm.
Right.
But 2 miles or above, it's free busing. 1 to 2 miles, you have the option to bus, but it's a charge to the parents. And then under 1 mile, it's then expected, and you don't have the option. You just have your kid has to get to school somehow, either walking or parent.
Under a mile?
Yeah.
No, I'm against the whole. I think given how strapped parents are, particularly in the afternoon. See, anybody can say that in the morning, Dan. I get it. So it's on the parent to get them there in the morning. How are the parents picking up at 3 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what?
And if not, so do they? Is there more money invested in after school programs? Like, is that part of the plan that if you're not gonna if you're not gonna offer the option to have parents,
right,
get their kids delivered to them at 3:30, then they're gonna have to wait somewhere, right, for the parents to be done work.
Right.
I mean, we used to have after school programs that we'd go to and have to wait for our parents to come pick us up, but I don't know, they're still around, and are they as big as they once were? They're gonna have to be more. Is there gonna be more investments into that?
Yeah, I just see the things we invest in, and I smell something here in Deptford with the teachers' unions or some force that was going to get that money. But what kind of guy rises to the level of superintendent, Dan, and then 2 weeks before the start of school suddenly throws on people, Your kid's going to have to get to school on their own. Don't they talk to people? Aren't they going back and forth with stuff? Would anyone listening say, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's get started with that. What's the selling point, too? See, here's the other thing, Dan. He didn't make the point other than the $1.6 million. He didn't say anything like, well, we think this is on the parents. Was he afraid to say that? Isn't that what it said? It's your kid. You're responsible. That's what the school said. Yep. Is that really the case when it comes to busing?
Grab them by the lapels and shake them like hell.
That's the tuna fish sandwich comment over in Cherry Hill. All right, 855-839-1210. A lot of folks want to get in. Coming to you, hit us with that cartoon character. Your calls are definitely next on Talk Radio 1210.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
40 days to lose up to 40-plus pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep it off. Call Dr. T, 855-5-NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds, 40 days up to 40 pounds, NJ Diet.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Free parking at SEPTA stations is over in a little more than a month. There's a competition with Philadelphia teens to create the best anti-gun violence social media campaigns. And a Temple professor's novel was one of 14 that made former President Barack Obama's summer reading list.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
For eligible individuals 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dr. Giordano show, coming to your call. Somebody sent me an email saying that in Pennsbury, they won't give the cost of the period stuff in the bathroom. It's even in the neutral bathroom. I mean, this appears to be a need, but it's the boys' elementary bathrooms. That's where the agenda comes out. That's part of the problem here. Let me go to Carol in Ottsville on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Carol, afternoon.
Hi, Dom. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, comments on both subjects. One, about the tampons in the boys' rooms. One, that's just a continued feminization of men. Number two, about that, they're going to be stolen big time because if you can't afford breakfast, anyone who's used them or had girls that are buying them, they're so expensive these days. So, they're just going to start disappearing. And then the third thing, you as a former teacher know that boys can come up with way different creative ways of doing something with them just for fun. At a minimum, they're going to be throwing them down the toilets and stopping them all up. So,
well, you know what? The cost is something you have to consider. So you think the better thing would be what? To have people confidentially apply for them and get them?
Yeah, but we've lived how many years since they've been invented? Women have survived, It just is crazy to me. Are they going to be supplying underwear pretty soon because people need underwear? I don't even know. Where does it stop?
Well, I hear you about the line of that. I'm just saying, though, strategically at least, maybe philosophically, there appears to be a need for it. Given Bidenomics, given everything else, and you just said how costly they are.
Right. But I don't think it's the school's responsibility to do that.
Okay, it's not responsible. They have to do it. But, again, I hear the issue of cost, though, of just making them open that way. That's why I said if you apply for it, maybe you're supplied that way. I don't want somebody who's poor to have to go through that if possible. But by putting them out there in machines, I had to cover bathroom duty. You're right. There can be all kinds of difficulty.
I want to hear more about that sometime.
Oh, yes.
Some of the horror stories that you've seen there.
Oh, my God. Just the smoke clouds. And I'm a non-smoker. It was just
really
unbelievable.
Kids smoking cigs in the bathroom?
Oh, my God.
Get to shoo them out of there?
Nuclear powered. Yes, exactly. All right, Carol, how about the busing issue?
Okay, the busing issue, why? I might have missed it if somebody had called in already. Why isn't anyone talking about the predators? I mean, that's eye candy.
Well, sure.
You could just sit there and watch everybody going every day.
Well,
I'd watch little Johnny going by himself.
Some people even argue, some of these people would knock on the parent's door and saying, you're letting your 7-year-old walk to school. That's negligence. Yeah, this is fraught with all kinds of things.
Right. When I grew up in Philadelphia, we all walked to school, and it was literally a mile to St. Martin. But there was 2,400 of us going up and down the street, and that was back in the 70s that, it was okay.
Exactly.
The second point about that is just it's discrimination to all the people in the school district that are paying taxes, and also their house value. So let's pretend this sticks. And I bought a house within 2 miles because I wanted to be close to the school. And now all of a sudden, I don't have busing, and nobody's going to want to buy my house. They're going to go 3 miles out so they can get bused. And it's not correct. Up in Palisades, when my daughters were there, if you went to a private school, which they did, Palisades would bus you 10 miles outside the school district.
Yeah, that's usual.
And they did that. Right.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carol. I got to run for some others, but thank you. You made a great point there that, the idea that somehow or another this would be like a shore property, but rather than closer to the ocean, the farther away you are. Can you imagine at the 2-mile marker, Dan, the disputes with this guy? Maybe that's what that superintendent needs, a team of lawyers, Dan, to be disputing, is this 2 miles? Because is it 2 miles, Dan, to the school property? Is it 2 miles to inside the building? How do you mark this off? Is it as the crow flies? Can you imagine? How do they come up with stuff like this? 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let me go to Alan in Yardley. Hey, Alan, thanks for the wait. What do you have today?
Hey, Dom. There's so many things you covered. I want to thank you for covering the Harris honeymoon so well. And the call with John yesterday really pulled back the curtain. And I think that's what's great about radio. So thank you for that. One other thing, I think behind the ability to change a tire, hailing a cab is an appropriate benchmark from that.
Oh, you know what? Dan, could that be a side question?
Yeah.
And we're going to make it, because there'll be dispute,
That's a good
Dan.
one.
In this time, in this age, and Alan, you just started. Oh, man, I'm thinking tomorrow already. Masculinity may have changed, but I'm thinking you're saying it's not changed as much as some people would tell us, that a woman still wants a guy to be able to stop that cab.
It's a great side question.
Yeah.
I mean, can we get in trouble?
It goes to the relationship. You know, that's fine. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the change, Dan, can you change a tire?
Yeah, actually.
Very good.
It's one of the rare things, manly things I can do. It's like a list
I'm
of 5.
proud of you, Dan. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it.
Oh, God, this might be a questionable side question, but I love it. I think I could even get Roe to call in on this, Dan. Oh, the golden call of golden calls. All right, who can have a cartoon, Alan?
All right. And, again, I don't like to make fun of people by their looks, and it's not really that. But comic characters have a, funny look. And I'm going to glom onto Greg Gutfeld because Mayorkas, he referred to him that he should be in the land of misfit toys.
It works. It works.
It works, yeah. Mayorkas, particularly the stuff that he's saying, the border is secure. I can't get enough of Lester Holt, Dan, just sitting there like this. Dun, 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 dun. When he gone to the border, the light shining.
It's my favorite clip of a long time.
The light shining on Kamala Harris and the sweat starting to come down. But,
to visit the border.
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Oh, my God. The real Guido back with us in Philly. Hey, Guido, afternoon to you.
How you doing, Dom? And you too, Dan. Listen, they just locked a guy up in Pennsylvania for voter fraud in 2020.
Yes.
Now, these Democrats are always screaming there's no voter fraud. I'd like to know why Martin Scorsese put voter fraud in his movie, The Irishman, and I was one of the guys committing voter fraud for John F. Kennedy.
That's right. Well, Lyndon Johnson committed it on a massive level. That's how they won Texas. You're right. So how did you feel? I have to go back and watch that and seeing the voter fraud part. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they had that in the movie. You know what I mean? We spent a whole day up in a Catholic church in White Plains, New York. So it was interesting because I told them all, I'm not a Democrat. So this is really awesome.
You deserve an Oscar. We give you one right on the spot. Guido, stay in touch. Thank you. Thanks for the call. I didn't know voter fraud was in on that. All right, here's the man who's the Secretary of Offense, registering voters coming up. But he's a bit the Secretary of Defense, Dan. He's doing a little bit of both. Scott Presler with some great news out of Pennsylvania is next here on Talk Radio 1210.
At California Psychics, we know that doubt can get in the way of your relationship. One moment you're enjoying a romantic date. The next you're thinking,
is this guy right for me? Could I spend my life with someone who has more hair on his feet than on his head?
Then you realize you've been thinking out loud.
Wait, come back,
Thankfully, California Psychics can clear away the dating doubt. Our accurate psychics are available 24/7 to give you all the guidance you need to make the right relationship choices. California Psychics is the psychic service more people trust. That's why we can guarantee, if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 80% off their first reading. I can smell love in the air already. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Mr. Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra.
Joel Embiid is excited.
The process marches on.
Oh, George, welcome to Philadelphia.
Morris, hallelujah.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
The Sixers will prevail.
Oh, baby! joeconklin.com.
The Stros are coming to town on Monday, August 26th and Tuesday, August 27th, both at 6:40, and Wednesday, August 28th at 4:05 to take on the Phils. Don't miss this matchup. Order tickets today at Phillies.com. Spend your Labor Day weekend at Citizens Bank Park when the division rival Braves visit on Thursday, August 29th through Sunday, September 1st. Order tickets now at Phillies.com.
Get ready to hit it out of the park every time you fire up the grill this summer with Hatfield. Swing into action with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork, ground pork and sausage, ham, bacon, and your favorite Hatfield Phillies Franks. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, Hatfield pork is food you'll feel good about serving. From home or at the ballpark, find your flavor with Hatfield, the official pork provider of the Phillies. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and to find a retailer near you.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never involved in an accident, we mean it. But if you are injured in an accident, we'll work quickly and tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And when we also say we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid, we mean it. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals.
If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express
We are
Employment
locked into a
Professionals.
dry and
with
pleasant weather
contract and
pattern.
full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com.
We are locked into a dry and pleasant weather pattern through the rest of the week. Mixture of sun and clouds today with a high temperature below average at 83. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low mid-60s for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And Wednesday, sunshine and clouds a bit warmer with a high 86.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. I'm shocked that we can get him, Dan. I follow Scott Presler on Twitter religiously. I know he's on big shows today, but he is Pennsylvania through and through. And with early vote action, he's got some great news to report today. Let's go to Scott Presler on Talk Radio 1210. Scott, thanks for squeezing us in today.
Hey, this is Dom Giordano. This is a big show.
Well, thank you, Scott. Cut that, Dan. That's a promo right there from the man himself.
Cut it, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I am in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and yesterday we got new data for voter registration. And I have to tell you, I was a little worried about what we might see yesterday, because Kamala has been getting all of this quote-unquote enthusiasm, and she picked the most extreme radical leftist, Tim Walz, that she could possibly pick as her vice presidential candidate. And I thought, will they see a bump? And actually, I'm here to tell you that in the 3 weeks since the Democrats undemocratically pushed Biden aside, selecting Kamala as their candidate, Republicans have maintained a net gain of more registered voters statewide for all 3 last weeks. There wasn't a single week during all of this quote-unquote enthusiasm where the Democrats gained more. And I think that shows you that the honeymoon is officially over.
Well, I think it might tell it. I agree with you, but I think it also tells us that the media may love this. You can draw a few crowds, but the actual change in voting patterns and all, Scott, the actual work, what you do, is not breaking through. That's a pretty good sample size of 3 weeks. She's not going to ever be higher. It's going to come down a little bit. So if it's not working now, how do they pull ahead?
Exactly. I think we're over the hump. You know, the last hump is the DNC. But I think a lot of what we're seeing on social media, because I have felt the same way, I can speak for some of those of you who are listening at home. What you're seeing on social media is calculated, it is contrived, it is made up, and I'm not seeing that level of enthusiasm on the ground. Now, I'll tell you a couple things that are new since we've last spoken. Is A, in addition to my 67 county tour across Pennsylvania, I've already been to the Wayne County Fair in Wayne County, PA, and I've already been to the Philly Expo Center registering voters at the Oaks Gun Show in Montgomery County. But I am also on a quest and mission to deliver hand in person letters on election integrity demanding from the PA Department of State whether or not illegal aliens, aka non-citizens, are registered to vote. And so this week, I will be visiting more county board of election offices, and this is really important that we are proactive going into this November. We're not waiting for shenanigans to happen on Tuesday, November 5th. Let's make sure every polling location has enough paper ballots so they don't run out of paper ballots like they did in November of 2022 in Luzerne County. But let's also make sure that if there's a power outage, do polling locations have generators? Do we have a plan B to make sure that every single voter will be counted legally this November?
And Scott, your other state, your birth area, at least where you grew up, Virginia, governor this week, was it last week, I guess, said, yeah, there were a lot of people that were on the ballot that are probably illegal, and they're taken off the ballot now.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't just coming out of nowhere. Ohio, Virginia have taken off thousands of illegal aliens from their voter rolls. And if it has happened in states that have millions of voters, those are two very large states. Then we could logically deduce that perhaps the same is in Pennsylvania. And all I'm asking is for the Department of State to tell me with certainty that not a single illegal alien is registered to vote. I have been asking them since the 22nd of July, and the Pennsylvania Department of State refuses to answer me, will not comply, will not answer. And so that's why I'm forced peacefully to go in person, and I'm letting these county board of elections know that if I do not hear an answer or response from them written within 7 business days, that I will be alerting my platform of more than 2 million people across the United States that each individual county will not actually answer us either. So we're putting forth transparency and accountability.
When are you coming to Philadelphia? Do you have any timeline?
I don't want to tip them off. You know, those Philly Democrats. They're
Okay.
listening to the Dom Giordano show. You know they are.
Okay. So, Scott, where do people go, though, who want to continue the action? And your report is very insightful today that 3 weeks, and we're not seeing these net gains. If she were really getting through to people, you would see a surge. And that's the ultimate test, not just some of the rally stuff.
The only surge Democrats are seeing are in the collar counties. Philly, Montgomery, Delaware, Chester, but Philly is the main one. And I'll tell you, even in Bucks County, Republicans are maintaining their lead. People can financially support my work at earlyvoteaction.com. That's earlyvoteaction.com. We've hired a state director. We have 12 staff in the field on the ground. And so please, if you want us to hire more staff, if you want us to continue to have Newsweek report that Republicans are registering 4 times as many voters as Democrats, that's as of today, then please go to earlyvoteaction.com.
Thank you, Scott. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks,
right.
Dan. Bye.
Scott Presler here on Talk Radio 1210. I'm glad that is good news, that he's not seeing any impact, if you will, in one barometer. Now, look, there have been rallies. They have turned out people. We've been through this. And there will be a bump. Everybody gets somewhat of a bump with the convention. But at 2 o'clock, Robert Cahaly had more faith in his polling, called it in 2016, big time when no one else could, the Trump phenomena. He'll explain briefly, if you haven't heard him before, how is their polling different from other pollsters? And then when you hear that, you have a sense of why they can tap into what's out there for Trump that others may not be able to. Then the next question is, what do they recommend that the Trump campaign do now? They were on Fox last night. I think they made a great point. And if the campaign, and particularly Trump, does this and is disciplined on it, they'll break through. If they don't, then it's going to be difficult. So it's a known. It is what works. Do it now. Don't wait. Don't say, well, we got a big push, October surprise, whatever it is. No. Do it now. And Trump is still doing rallies, still drawing people. That's not in question. And he is online and TikTok and things of that nature reaching to some degree. But what he has to do is methodically, and I know that's sometimes the issue, define Harris to the 250,000 people out there most likely in the North Carolina is not a swing state, 6 swing states, particularly where we are here in Pennsylvania, that are going to decide this ultimately, all things being equal. That's the secret formula. That's what has to be done. I know it's hard to believe with all that's been out there about Vice President Harris. How in the world would they not know? And Walz is new. So we're still in the battle over that. And there's going to be a lot more. I just saw more stuff today, more people saying, well, I'll give you a little bit. Joe Sestak coming up. They tag him, and former Admiral, Congressman, Delaware County, to say, why are these people picking on Walz and his military service? How about having National Guard fire paintballs at those that are not wearing masks? Oh, man. This guy just crawls with things that have been going on here. All right, phone lines, though. Grab a line right now at 855-839-1210. Hey, I've told you for years about my friend, dentist, and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping people overcome fear and anxiety, and that's due to several reasons, even just a mild touch of it versus really extreme cases. I've met a woman in Ocean City who now goes to him regularly and didn't go to a dentist for over 8.5 years. That is almost hard to believe. Well, if you're in that state, you put it off, and then it's very difficult. Don't do that. Get a great dental experience with Dr. Bentz. I'm headed over there today for something I'll tell you about tomorrow. And with Dr. Bentz, the infrastructure he has, a great staff, of course, his own skill. He's much in demand to talk to other people about dentistry. Dentists refer people to him all the time. And that 3D printer that effectively makes your teeth. You just can't beat this experience. It's the Bentz Dental Group. It's BENTZ. Find them at BentzDentalGroup.com or call them for that appointment right now at 610-272-6949. Visit Bentz Dental Group. Tell them Dom G sent you, 610-272-6949.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a 7th-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track.
We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction. Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
Yeah, it's right this time of the afternoon that producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, I'm bookmarked by two great guests. Another one coming up here at 2, Robert Cahaley. So I'm going to step aside, but first, I dug up a local news story about this paintball situation. You were saying that Tim Walz ordered his police to shoot paintballs at people that stepped outside their house during
National
coronavirus.
Guard, I think, but maybe police too, Dan, yes.
So here you go, Dom. Take a listen. Here's some footage of that.
And if you pay attention, you'll hear the police say, get in the house. You'll hear several commands, and then you'll hear, light them up. And then that's when you get the fire. We'll play it again.
You know, this is...
Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in! Get in!
All right, Dan, just a pause here in Dan Time. Sorry. This clown, this guy is just... I know people focus on, you know how I fixate on something. Every time I see this folksy blowhard. So that's a local news report that the police were given permission and or ordered, we're tracking this, to fire paintballs at people if they were out during COVID. And COVID, well, it's military lying, but COVID has always been the card of these petty tyrants like Wolf and this guy.
It's dystopian. You see the video, you got a group of heavily armed police walking down the middle of a suburban road looking at who's standing outside their door and firing weapons at them. It's nuts. It's nuts. That's all I got for Dan Time, Dom. A lot of calls on the board there, too.
Yeah, let's see if we can find anybody to talk about that. We'd love to get them on tomorrow. I thought you were going to say, this has been debunked. You hear them, light them up. Not only that, what the hell's wrong with the police and others here? That's an illegal order. You can't be firing paintballs at us. Now, if you want to say those people are a public health threat and lock them up for that, okay, let's do that in court. Who is it that, in addition to this tyrant, But what police, they're not cops that I have any faith in, that would be firing paintballs at people. I'm talking about their leaders and commands. That's an illegal order. They have every right to resist that. To be firing paintballs at people because they were outside their house? Don't you know that you're just messing up any defense of police by stuff like this? You're just making this tyranny. Not that you can blind somebody with that. My God, this guy just crawls with it. All right, the side question today. I want to get a couple people in here. Hit us with somebody who'd make a great cartoon character. Now, try to go outside the political world a little bit. Have a little bit of fun. But I know the urge is to go put extra credit, kind of, if you can come up with one. Janet Yellen's political, but not that much. She crawls with it. How about Joe in Bordentown?
Hey, before we go, I just want to. So I did look up some of this information.
Well, Joe, hold up 1 second, Joe. I promise we'll come to you. Go ahead.
So this is done back in May of 2020. This paintball situation, right?
Yeah.
And apparently it was in response. It was Governor Walz. Remember, he called in the National Guard in response to the George Floyd protests. So the reason why they're going around and with the paintballs is after Floyd, not because of coronavirus lockdowns. So just want to clarify there.
So, but they're telling people to get in their house and they're firing at them?
Yeah.
I still am not on board with that.
No.
I mean, if they're not dispersing and you want to arrest them, you want to arrest them if they're committing some kind of action or storming toward the police, okay. But firing paintballs in this manner is still out of bounds. And yet he wouldn't put down the riots and let them take over the police precinct. That's still ridiculous. It really is. All right, let's go to, got it all in, Dan, now?
Yeah, I'm still looking into it. Maybe I'll have more information.
All right, good. All right, let me go to Joe. Joe, sorry for that interruption. Go right ahead.
Is this me?
Yes, it is, Joe. Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, this is also the Czar of Trenton.
Okay.
Hey, Czar, how you doing,
yeah,
sir?
Czar.
Yeah, well, okay, now, my character would be a younger Bernie Sanders, right, with his voice, but with a Minnesota accent.
Okay. All right, yeah, Bernie definitely is in the, he actually did his own recording with the Bernie Sanders Singers. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like the younger Bernie Sanders when he got married in Moscow, that, the character would be like that.
And as a czar, you would know that.
You would know that. Exactly. Thank you. You checked them out. Also, Dan, not a big tipper. There was a whole thing when he was the mayor of that town in Vermont where he wouldn't tip. He was against tipping, just as I said before. It was in a diner, and there's a big thing of why he doesn't think tipping is right. People ought to be paid a living wage, and he wasn't going to pay it. All right, coming up.
Just real quick, Czar of Trends, a very common tweeter, if you're unaware.
Oh, yes.
Twitter.com/@DomShow1210, always active on there as well.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Robert Cahaly. Haven't had him on in quite a while. Misstep by me. The great group, the Trafalgar Group, they predicted the 2016 election. What does he say about the battleground states? You heard Presler talking about how soft on the ground this is for Kamala Harris. What is the threat to Trump, and what should the Trump people do? All that next, and Dom's Money Melody on Talk Radio 1210.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to GetCash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com. GetCash.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
Don't miss the Friends and Family Savings event at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or a rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today. People are talking about Window Nation. One customer said,
"We couldn't be happier. This was a great experience."
Window Nation is about value, and this August, they're giving you a great value during their anniversary sale. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There's no limit on how much you could save. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months. Act now and get an extra $250 credit. Hurry, sale ends August 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or at windownation.com.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Oops. Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Get ready for Phillies baseball.
Swung on, hit high in the air, left field. Verdugo going back to the track, at the wall, looking up, it's gone!
This Thursday, the Phils host the Washington Nationals at Citizens Bank Park, and you'll hear them here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Marsh swings and rips it into right. There's a base hit past the diving Turner. The Phillies, with a 4-run frame, now lead it 5-0.
Phillies baseball, Thursday night at 6:05 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app. Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Mea Koopa, Mea Maxima Koopa. It was old Auto Boy stuff. I'm begging for forgiveness because Dom Giordano's show, we have not had Robert Cahaly on in quite a while. Almost as long, Dan, since the Braves last beat the Phillies in the playoffs.
That's the first thing I went to do.
Yeah. He's brilliant, but he's a Braves guy, so we have to overlook something here. There we go. He is the chief pollster of the Trafalgar Group. And our first time talking with Robert was post the 2016 election. We really tracked him down. I can remember because they had it right, second to none. They called all of it what was happening with Trump. Saw them on Fox last night, he and his colleague from the Trafalgar Group. And we're talking about how does the polling look in the battleground states, but also what Trump should do. And I couldn't agree more. I was screaming at the TV. That's exactly right. It's knowable what to do. Let's go to Robert Cahaly here on Talk Radio 1210. Robert, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thanks for joining today.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to stop doing the chop here, but we play music, and I turned into a brave automaton. I was just doing my thing, but you know what? Don't count us out. We're actually more dangerous when we don't win 100 games when it comes to playoffs. So you might be eating your words, but we'll see.
Okay. Robert, you got to clip the start of that and come back in October.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll do it in October. We'll see. It'll be changing in the playoffs versus the regular season. So, Robert, great appearance last night, and you were actually asked about what the campaign should do. But first, we had on our guy on the ground here who is second to none as far as registering voters in Pennsylvania, driving all that up. He's almost legendary. He does not see, by the numbers out today, any groundswell at all for Democrats and Kamala Harris. In fact, Republicans are holding pretty much what they did even 3 weeks ago. What is your polling on the grand scale, though? Well, first, let me interrupt myself and say, when we first had you on, for our listeners who haven't heard you in a while, what is the difference that you do versus most of the polling groups?
Well, we do a lot of things different, from everything from the way we ask our questions to how big the polls are. But just in a nutshell, one, we don't believe in long surveys because you lose average people. Second, we don't believe that live callers only are the best way to do it. You find me somebody under 50 who answers the phone from a live caller from a number they don't know, and I'm going to point a very weird person out to you. That is not a regular person.
Yeah.
And so we recognize that polling has got to change as people's lives change. And so we offer people many different methods, whether it's live, whether it's a text, whether it's an email. And even with our text, we do those differently. You know, a lot of these groups will text out links. Well, savvy people are hesitant to click links. We text back and forth each answer. Now, that's the most expensive way to do it, but it's the best way to do it. And so we believe in every state to do at least 1,000. We'd like to keep our error rate below 3. So every state we're gonna poll at least 1,000. We're gonna hit them with short questionnaires and give them multiple ways to do it. And with a lot of our methods, we let them reply not immediately, not interrupting, and we give them some time. Hey, you have 24 hours to respond. It's 48 hours. When people can do something on their own schedule, you're going to get a better response rate.
Oh, without a doubt. So I just wanted listeners to hear that because it makes great sense to me. So how would you characterize it now, 3 weeks of Harris, where we are in places like Pennsylvania and the other battlegrounds?
Well, I think it really depends on the state. First thing I'll tell you is the state that I think got appreciably worse more than any other is Georgia, because Georgia has the Democrat enthusiasm is actually higher than the Republicans right now, and it was way below. But Georgia has a unique balance there, and it's got a significant African American population and frankly, an affluent African American population, way higher than almost any other place in the country. And those voters have been very energized to participate with her, and her messaging kind of speaks to them, other than some of the males. But there's been a lot more enthusiasm there, and the younger people got a lot more enthusiastic. And frankly, some of the suburban women that Trump had a little bit of a shot with like her a little better. Now, these things are not set, but Georgia was a walk away for Trump, 4 or 5 points, and it's a dogfight now. I don't think Pennsylvania's gotten significantly worse because I don't think she solved any problems. One of the things, by trading out Biden with Kamala, you lost that appeal to middle-of-the-road Democrats, the appeal that Biden brought. Mm-hmm. He took people that Clinton couldn't win, but Biden could. Well, I don't think Kamala can win them either. So I think Pennsylvania and Wisconsin probably about the same. So it's the map's a little different. And what I will also tell you in Pennsylvania, and I've seen this in action, having a quality candidate like McCormick is making all the difference. I mean, some of his ads are the best anti-Kamala ads I've seen. This
I
guy's
agree with you.
campaigning like a maniac, and he is really good. I mean, he came within a hair win that nomination last time, and arguably he would have probably done much better against Fetterman. But I think this is a year that's going to be well suited to him, and he, I think together he and Trump can win Pennsylvania. But and each one of them kind of lifting a little bit of this. I mean, it was a lot. 2022 was much different than this year is, and so I think that's one of the things that makes Pennsylvania different. But my philosophy is always you better win Pennsylvania by 2.5 if you're going to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I mean, you better be ready to go.
We're talking about Robert.
And I don't like I don't like what the Lakes Commission just announced that get ready for us to count the ballots for the weeks to come, and don't be surprised if the outcome changes. I mean, talk about telegraphing.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Robert. We talked about today, Pennsylvania State Department saying, well, we may not have them on election night. We don't think that's reasonable, even though we spent tens of millions of dollars to say exactly that's what they have to do. We're talking with Robert Cahaly, chief pollster of the Trafalgar Group. So, Robert, you and your colleague last night, I thought were brilliant in the urgency, and I think your colleague maybe got it first and then you, that defining Harris right now is critical rather than squirreling the money away. How do they define Kamala Harris? What is the issue principally in your view?
Well, first of all, the best way to define Kamala Harris is let Kamala Harris define Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. This lady has got more contradictory videotape out there with what she's saying now, what she said in the past, than you can ever believe. I mean, you just let Kamala Harris define her. Some of the things she said are just completely off the wall. So, she's I don't know whether it was on one of your show one time we talked about how when people say generic Republican, generic Democrat, they do pretty well because nobody's beat up generic Republican, generic Democrat. Well, she's getting to operate as kind of a generic candidate right now, defining herself and letting the mainstream media do it, and nobody's poking holes at her. She will not be able to sustain that, especially if, we can kick the Republican establishment in the butt and say, get moving. I have heard from so many. I was on the phone with another one of these morons who a billionaire put in charge of his PAC. And he was like, we got our 8-week flight ready to go. Last 8 weeks? Yeah, that's it. Taking August. It's like 2004 call. They would like their election strategy back.
Exactly. It's urgency. It's now defining her now. Now, you said something interesting.
You take August off and you're going to lose.
Exactly. You said something interesting last night. I think your colleague said the two I's, inflation and immigration. But you said energy, and particularly here in Pennsylvania, with the fracking comments that she can't run away from, or if she does run away from them, maybe the bloom is off with her base, the climate people. So why did you put energy up there second?
Well, one, we've seen that immigration is just kind of falling away. The people who are really working about immigration are not voting for Kamala Harris. It really is. Immigration has kind of settled out. And frankly, I mean, you watch TV in Georgia and you'll see her immigration ad where she talks about how she supported a bill that would have fixed it and the Republicans were against it. Like the Republicans could have staked out that ground 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. They didn't do it. So right now the economy is what's moving people the most. But see, I think you can make the point of, hey, these guys put in a Green New Deal. These guys went anti-oil and gas. And when they did it, it raised the price of everything from your milk, your potatoes, everything. And not only that, it raised the price of your gas. And when oil is expensive, Russia and Iran are rich. and it contributed to what's going on in the whole world. Biden and Harris's policies did all this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You can make that whole point.
Fracking here in Pennsylvania, you probably have a sense, but on the ground, economies, 150 miles away from me, are driven by this. They're driven incredibly by it. She has said blatantly she would get rid of fracking.
You have so much natural gas.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you've got so much gas, and the idea of what they've done has created higher prices and less stability in the world. You want stability in the world, you let a fleet of tankers be providing Pennsylvania natural gas to Europe, and they can tell Russia to go stick it with their natural gas. That's what brings stability to this world.
Well put. Robert, as a Braves fan, we salute you, though. You guys are on it. I hope the Republican establishment, those PACs you're talking about, are listening. Urgency, defining her now. Where do people follow you, Robert Cahaly, on Twitter or any place else you want them to go?
Well, first of all, Matt Towery, who's Insider Advantage Polling, and me with Trafalgar, we co-host Polling Plus podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, type the word polling with the first one that comes up. It's every week, just me and him just kind of going through what the new numbers are and giving you some inside information. We predicted that Kamala would be more competitive than Joe was. And if you go back and listen to him, you won't believe how many things he said were going to happen eventually happen. Learn first on their podcast. Also, you can follow me on X, Robert Cahaly, Trafalgar _group, and all the other social media platforms, including Truth Social, same handles. So, just love to have you keep up with what we're doing.
All right, we'd love having you anytime that we have a chance. Now, the Phillies, after pretty bad teams this week they play, they head for the showdown to Atlanta, I think, in about 8 days. So are you ready?
Well, the question is, are y'all ready to play in hellacious heat and humidity?
We're in Philadelphia.
That's the real question.
I hear you.
You have no idea, brother. No idea how hot it is here compared to where you are.
All right. Robert, thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Have a great one.
All right, Dan, what a character. All right, that podcast, I got to get on that. We have to listen each week to see the insight. So what he said there is good news, but you heard what he said. We got an 8-week flight at the end of the election. We're going to blitz it. We're going to do that. No. Do it now. You got to define her now while it's still available, while there's an opportunity. All right, get your response to that. We'll get you to, and remember, we're looking for one that may not be political. Today's side question, coming off Janet Yellen as a cartoon character, hit us with somebody who'd make a great cartoon character, some real-life human being that you'd put in as a cartoon character. Either be good or be a mockery. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. But right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
All right, today we're playing for a chance to get a $50 Burger King gift card. Embrace the heat this summer, as he said, with the all-new fiery menu now available for a limited time at participating U.S. Burger King restaurants. Dan?
Don, we're asking today what real-life human being for our side question would make for a great cartoon character. Well, this real-life human being did indeed make for a great cartoon character, and you wouldn't expect it. So, Don, we're playing a cover artist today, a very famous musician, and we want to know who the cover artist is today singing that appeared in a cartoon, a very famous cartoon. Take a listen, Dom. Love this guy, love his music, love the cartoon character that he's known for. Dom, we want to know who this singer is that our side question is today. A real-life human being that would make for a great cartoon character. This guy has played a cartoon character and done it really well.
All right, hit us with that, 855-839-1210, and we got a $50 gift card to Burger King. More of your calls coming up. Talk Radio 1210.
The Philadelphia Children's Alliance knows that with summer in full swing, the promise of new adventures is incredibly exciting. But for families, it also brings new challenges to keeping children safe. The Philadelphia Children's Alliance will be here to help. We are sharing tips and resources to keep your family safe. Follow us on socials at Phila Children's Alliance and help us spread the word. The Philadelphia Children's Alliance, promoting safety and well-being one summer at a time. Visit us online at philachildren'salliance.org.
An American Heritage Cash Reward MasterCard helps you tackle that to-do list. Get up to 3% cash back at home improvement stores, groceries, and pharmacies. And when the chores are done, treat yourself to a well-deserved vacation, earning 2% cash back on travel, hotels, and rideshares, and 1% on everything else you buy, including back-to-school supplies. Apply today at AmericanHeritageCU.org/credit cards. Subject to credit approval. Insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. legacybox.com/value.
Miss any of the Dom Giordano program? Download and follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money. That's right. Let's hear the clue today and get a winner and send you off to Burger King.
Yeah, Dom, today the side question is, who's a human being that make for a great cartoon character? This singer is known for playing a cartoon character and a really good one, and honestly, my favorite cartoon of all time. Take a listen.
All right, let's go to Mark in Yardley. All right, Mark, who's singing today?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Tom Petty.
All right, that was a
And Mark, do you know what
brilliant,
character he's known for voicing?
I thought you were going to ask me that. Character.
Yeah, no problem. It's Elroy Kleinschmidt, a.k.a. Lucky, Luann Platter's husband from King of the Hill. That's voiced by Tom Petty. I love King of the Hill.
I didn't know that.
He voices Lucky in there.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, so congratulations. You win that great prize.
I will put you on hold, Mark, and you will be headed off to Burger King. You've won a $50 gift card to Burger King. Can you handle the heat, though, Mark? That's the question, because Burger King is serving up bold flavor and spice this summer with the all-new fiery menu featuring the fiery bacon Whopper, the fiery chicken fries, fiery strawberry and Sprite made with fiery strawberry puree, and more for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. It's a fiery take on your BK favorites with spice levels from mild to wild so everyone can have it their way. Okay. And probably tomorrow again, we'll have that great prize.
All week, Tom.
All week we'll have it. Okay. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Now, you just heard Robert Cahaly break it down. Here is Tom Bevan. Bevan is from Real Clear Politics. They do a great job at putting things in perspective of where we are, big picture, not just some snapshot and we're off to the races. Talking about the polls that we're seeing with Kamala Harris, she's up, no doubt. But Trump is also way up from 4 years ago. Here's Tom Bevan, cut 10.
How do you see this going as we get past conventions, we get past all of this that's over which we're obsessing right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, that is a great question. Whether this is this the new normal or whether this is part of a honeymoon and it'll recede a little bit. I expect she will get a bit of a convention bounce. I expect it won't be long lasting. So I guess the good news, if you're the Democrats, is that they are in a much better position than they were just a few weeks ago, nationally and a lot of these battleground states. I think the good news, if you're the Trump campaign, you can look at things and say, you know what? We're down 0.5 point nationally, and we're ahead in 5 out of the 7 battleground states. That is way ahead of where they were 4 years ago. They were losing by 6 or 7 points nationally. They were losing in all of these battleground states. So I think this election, Neil, is going to be an absolute nail biter and come down to a few thousand votes in just a couple of states, a repeat of 2016 and in some ways 2020, because the country is just so evenly divided. And these candidates, they are polarizing for both sides.
That is spot on. So the upside there, despite this surge by Harris in the short term, and we talked to Scott Presler, Republicans not falling behind in registrations, holding their own, moving ahead, Luzerne County, Bucks counties, out of Montgomery County, statewide. Great point. Bevan just said there, yes, Trump is doing much better at this point in time than he was 4 years ago. But Harris is on a run here, cutting into that, and then you have the convention bump coming up. But then after that, what happens? So the thing to do, we just heard from Cahaly, is these PACs with all the big money, not putting out an 8-week schedule at the end of this. You know, that's how we're going to clinch it. But doing it now, in her own words. And there are several areas, obviously. And I know it's hard to understand that strategy, because how in the world would people not have a pretty clear sense of how radical Kamala Harris is? Well, they're not paying attention to it. Going back to 2019, seems like a million years ago. They don't follow all these clips as you do in talk radio. They don't have the vaguest sense of it. They just hear joyful warriors. They don't hear the sense like this paintball thing that we just brought you. And Dan, in that report with Walz, do we have a sense if Walz ordered this or was allowing it, or the police just did it on? I mean, it must be some sense that he was aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be news that the police were doing it on their own.
Yeah, well, this is where I'm having trouble trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because he's governor at the time, right?
Right.
And he's the one that makes the order for the National Guard to come
Right.
in. This is the National Guard in conjunction with local police going up and down with their paintball guns.
Right.
So what I'm not clear on, I'm clear that Governor Walz is the one that ordered the heightened, National
Right.
Guard presence. What I'm not clear on is whether or not word for word he ordered,
Right.
people to go around parading with paintball guns, shooting people to stay in their houses.
Okay. It's not COVID, though. It's around the riots.
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me that this would be his strategy, rather than immediately shutting this down with overwhelming in the beginning, and then the people who still resorted to arson fires or whatever, taking drastic action against them. But people outside their house, and you're firing paintballs at them. Play that clip again, Dan, so people can hear it.
Sorry, got to pull
Yeah,
it up.
yeah. This is the local news report on it.
You'll hear the police say, get in the house. You'll hear several commands, and then you'll hear, light them up. And then that's when you get the fire. We'll play it again.
This is...
Get in your house now! Let's go!
Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in!
All right, so we're parsing this out. Isn't the bottom line fairly with Walz, though? That there's an awful lot here with this guy that, again, they talked about J.D. Vance not being effectively screened. By the way, J.D. Vance, thanks to Walz, I believe, has found his voice in the military things and all. It's given him an edge. And if you saw him on the 3 Sunday news show, I think it was 3 that he was on this past Sunday, he was much better than anything we've seen before. Walz is the guy who's not normal, though. But he's being sold as all-American, Midwest, normal. White guy, can be normal, and be in the Democrat Party. That's the sell. That's what they're telling us. Really? And we've been disputing that and talking about it all along, and this guy is certainly not normal. All right, let's go to the Earl of Tacony on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Earl, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to comment dogpile on Dr. John yesterday, so real quick, I wanted to say that the way these people think is if you give a tax break to a corporation, only corporations get a tax break. If you give a tax break to the people, only the people get a tax break. If you get a tax break to corporations and the people at the same time, they believe only the corporations get the tax break. The people's tax break doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hope he calls in again. It certainly was invigorating. So, Earl, who's your cartoon character?
Well, Jim said I can only pick one person, but I do have an idea for a series. My person would be Robert De Niro. But are you familiar with the Deadheads, where they drive around in a Volkswagen van and they follow the Grateful Dead around?
Sure.
Well, instead of calling it the Grateful Dead, I'm going to call it the Ungrateful Left. And it's going to star Robert De Niro, Patton Oswalt, and Twitter troll Harry Nilsson. And they go around following Trump in an electric bus, trying to find charging stations, and they go to Trump rallies to ridicule Trump. But they're all short, and they're at the back of the rally, and they can't get Trump's attention because they're so short he can't see them.
Thank you, Earl. Dan, that's pretty well thought out. Playing off the Grateful Dead and people. I don't know if people still do that, if they still follow them. But, yeah, that's pretty good.
So William Bornhoff, the patch staff of Southwest Minneapolis, Minnesota, just posted an article, Dom, with the headline, "No, Tim Walz did not enforce a Minnesota COVID curfew with paintball rounds." And he writes about what we've been discussing here, and then he summarizes it by saying the police action was not related to COVID-19 lockdowns, and there is no evidence that Walz asked officers to shoot paintballs at residents, which is the same conclusion we came to, but we're keeping our mind open that maybe he did. But they're saying at the patch that no, that's all fake news.
All right, so it's not COVID. It's related to the George Floyd summer.
Which we've already stated as a factor.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I could see him because he was reluctant to defend property and saying he wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to bring in
the entire
National
article
Guard.
explains how Walz did indeed call in the National Guard, but he did not specifically ask, or there's no evidence that he specifically asked officers to shoot paintballs at residents.
All right, we'll see. We'll see as it develops. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're trying to be fair on this with Walz, not going with any wild thing. But on the military situation, it's obvious that he lied about his rank. Joe Sestak in a column today says he said retired sergeant command major, that whole thing. Really, Joe? Come on. He lied about it. He's been lying about it. He's stolen valor, in my mind at least, 100 times or more in statements. Are they just careless? Or are they just part of a pattern with this guy? One of the reasons he was chosen to run for Congress to start with. All right, coming up, we have another huge hearing going on. And the other side, they haven't given up, even though we've beaten them at every turn. At the Jersey Shore, Buddy Robin Schaefer will be with us next. President of Protect Our Coast, New Jersey. They have a big charity event, huge one coming up, in which they're honoring Jeff Van Drew and others. And we'll take your calls. Robert Cahaley should make you feel a little bit better of what's really happening out there at this point. Harris is gaining, but Trump is doing a lot better at this point than he did in 2020. So what does he have to do? Put the ad money in now, define now. Don't wait to the last 8 weeks. You do that, and you're just asking for trouble. Do it now. The material is there. Get ahead of it. You'll take away this surge, and then we'll see what happens. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let's talk about Captain Chucky's, though, for a moment. While you're enjoying your summer, reminder, football returns this week and next week. The Birds play preseason and a great season. To call to your nearest Captain Chucky's. Get the all-new Wild Shrimp Scampi. Chucky's is teaming up with the Vera Pasta Company, again offering now lobster, crab, and now that Wild Shrimp Scampi. What am I saying? Yeah, they left out a word here. Come on, Captain Chucky's. It's Wild Shrimp Scampi ravioli. And remember, order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. The Bang Bang Crab Cake. That's all that you have to say. And Ro loves this. I have my own crab cake, but she's taking this one. It's a delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. It's a perfect time, though. You're watching football, getting ready for Eagles and everything else, to look at all that Captain Chucky's has. Breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers. They have it all. The Dom roll. And that shrimp. Their Gulf shrimp is a huge hit, always wild caught, never farm raised. So just visit Captain Chucky's today, location near you. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. That'll tell you where your nearest Captain Chucky's is. If you're going to the shore, go to CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Weather sponsored by Discover Lancaster.
66 overnight and partly cloudy. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 87. Thursday continues to be beautiful, mostly sunny with a high of 88. Sticking with those high 80s for Friday, partly cloudy. And by Saturday, we're going to see some scattered thunderstorms with a high of 81.
Discover more of Lancaster. Head to Fire and Spice at Nissy Vineyards this weekend for live music, wine tasting, and more. Just a 90-minute drive from Philadelphia. Visit discoverlancaster.com to plan your getaway.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chances of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful to both recovery and mental health. To learn more, visit tobaccofreerecoverypa.com. or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear.
Then
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative.
Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was amazing.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Don't forget today's side question is a simple one. Coming off, well, Janet Yellen for some reason, and Dan recognizing a cart. Maybe it was Robin Williams, too. Hit us with somebody who'd be a great cart. Oh, I see a potential winner there. I don't know that he's well known enough, Dan, on line one. But, yeah, he would be a great cartoon character. All right, 855-839. All right, let's go to our buddy Robin Schaefer at the Jersey Shore. The battle continues. I know we're in the end of summertime, and we've already won on stopping Orsted, right? Robin has stepped out of the hearing that's going on with Jeff Van Drew to give us a full report so you know what's going on as this continues. Hey, Robin Schaefer, welcome back. So what's the hearing about today mainly?
Hey, Dom. Glad to be back on with you. And like you said, I just stepped out of the hearing, which is going on down the shore. We got a packed room with Congressman Van Drew and Scott Perry from over in Harrisburg, and four great experts talking about the threats that are will be posed by offshore wind. So it's really, in-depth hearing to talk about all the all the problems that can happen from offshore wind, including with the recent Vineyard wind disaster up in Nantucket.
Yes.
There's a giant piece of fiberglass in the front of the room from that disaster. I think they've recovered something like 60 tons of debris from that one blade. That's just a single blade.
60 tons?
One
Wow.
turbine. Yes. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And if they do that in a place like
ocean.
Nantucket, which is very wealthy, and to do there, they'll do anything to the Jersey Shore then.
Absolutely. Well, there was a story in the Washington Post today, and there have been a lot of stories coming out about this because let's face it, a lot of the wealthy elites on Nantucket were promoting offshore wind until a few weeks ago. And I don't believe for a second that they would have batted an eye if this was happening off of the coast of Ocean City, or it was happening off the coast of Scotland, or somewhere in Australia. But because it's happening in their backyard, their eyes are getting opened, and I think that's it's I hate to say it, it's like karma is you know what.
So Robin Van Drew there and Scott Perry, are there counter people saying the other side on this, or is this mainly coming off Nantucket and everything else, more detail on what we can expect if it goes through?
It's a friendly room, Dom.
Okay.
I have to say, I was expecting there'd be more opposition groups. We certainly see a lot of those opposition groups that are funded by government grants and frankly, the oil and gas industry. Like Shell Oil owns Atlantic Shores offshore wind development that is full steam ahead. They're trying to build these 1,000-foot tall wind skyscrapers only 8 miles off of the Atlantic City shore, all the way up into the Long Island Bight. And that's what this is about. This is an imminent threat. It's a continued threat from the climate hysterics in Washington and in Trenton to force this onto people. And there's just so many. So it's like an onion. There's so many different layers to how many problems there are with this. So it's my hat's off to Congressman Van Drew for making this happen again. This is the third in a series of field hearings that they've held. First one was in Wildwood, and then they had another one in Ocean City, Maryland. And yes, you were right at the outset that we were successful in fighting off Orsted last year, and I think that when you tussle with New Jersey, it brings out kind of the best fighting spirit, I think, in people, not just down the shore, but your listening area as well. I mean, Philadelphians are a special kind of people, and I have a lot of optimism that as we continue this fight, that we're going to prevail.
Sure, and we have a big charity event coming up on August 22nd. I'm very happy to be emceeing it down in Wildwood Crest, Robin.
Well, we are certainly honored to have you as our MC for this event, which will be the biggest event that we've had up till now. We've got just a incredible lineup of guests. We have award. We're giving our first Protecting Our Coast awards to a number of very, very worthy candidates. I mean, there were so many to pick from, but we one of those is our Congressman Jeff Van Drew. We've got some other great people lined up, including Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski, who and
Polish rifle.
Exactly. Jaws is amazing, and he there's. We've got Senate candidate Curtis Bashaw, who's going to be there as well, and it's going to be an incredible evening.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be over at the Icona in Avalon on the 22nd of this month. So,
all right, great location. Robin Schaefer with us. What's the website for Protect Our Coast, New Jersey?
It's protectourcoastnj.com. And I hope everybody takes a look and does whatever they can do to support this. And I can't thank you and your listeners enough for all the support that we've received up to this point. So it's going to take everything that we can get, because it's expensive to get into litigation with these multi-billion-dollar foreign companies. In fact, we're fighting our own government here. It's been David versus Goliath, but I think we're going to, like I said, I feel pretty a lot better now than I did this time last year about where we're headed. So,
absolutely. All right, Robin, we will see you soon. Let you get back into the meeting. Thanks for joining us, as always.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks. Let's hope David has many rocks to throw here in this. So, yeah, it'll be a big charity event. Ro and I headed down there, Avalon, on Thursday. And
it's the biggest event they've ever done.
Oh, yeah. This is big stuff.
Because Dom Giordano's in right?
It's rumored that Jaworski's been impressed with my throwing. Thinks he could extend.
Oh, come on! No.
My 34-yard throw. He thinks 6 yards would be easy in just one evening there. So I have several footballs, the regulation size, and then the one that I would use to throw. All set.
You can't throw a vortex, Dom. The ones that whistle at you.
And some Stickum, which is allowed as far as I know in all this. All right, so we'll have full report on that. That's next Thursday. Okay, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Got to go to Joe and Exton on this. Who deserves their own cartoon? Who should be a cartoon character? Joe in Exton. Joe, several people have said you, but who do you have?
Oh, I don't mind.
I'd love to see the cartoon. Like, your life is so, like, the going to Italy and all this. You really do deserve a cartoon, Joe.
Exactly.
My person there should be made into a cartoon character is that judge in New York. He made a mockery of the law by charging Trump in a kangaroo court.
Very nice, Judge Marchand. Thank you, Joe. Dan, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Judge Marchand is all at, you're out of order. No, you're out of order. All right.
A courtroom cartoon. I like it.
We'll see him in the very near future, too, the sentencing. All right, so 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. We have the lightning round next, so we get a winner for a big prize this week. Put your name in the hat, and I'll update you. It's not just Joe Biden who loves this story that's been debunked. Kamala Harris now getting on the same thing. I'll tell you what that is on Talk Radio 1210.
The economic future of this country is littered with uncertainty, but over 5,000 crash-proof retirement clients like Larry Kipp are protected by a tried-and-true system proven to protect their principal and outperform the S&P 500 even in the worst of market crashes.
In 2006, I had already retired. I knew that I couldn't lose principal, and so when the crash came, I knew my money was safe. And when the market starts to grow again, then I start gaining interest. I don't have to wait for it to grow back to where it was to gain that interest. I haven't incurred any fees doing this. I'm very satisfied with the service. I would say that there is a crash-proof retirement. I have proof of it.
Learn more about how the exclusive crash-proof retirement system protected Larry from market crashes at our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. Call us at 1-800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a seventh-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back to school? Make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student now for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online at newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Keeping free speech alive. Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, we do call it the lightning round. Sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, Cherry Hill Volvo offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any in-stock 2024 XC90 hybrid. They always go the extra mile for their customers at Cherry Hill Volvo. By the way, the story that Kamala Harris's Twitter puts out is the widely debunked Charlottesville story. How in the world, with all those people working on it, can you continue to do that about Trump and very fine people? Because they're getting away with it, it appears for now. All right, Robert in Bensalem. Who would be a great cartoon character, Robert?
Hi, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you. Gary, people grow up and they open their eyes, so your young people taking over isn't going to happen. But my answer to the side question, and I'm sorry to be political because I didn't want to be, but I'm going to go with John Fetterman.
Oh,
and the only reason I'm saying Fetterman is because I hear that the other cartoon character, Alley-Oop, is looking to retire, and I think that he would be a great replacement. You guys have yourselves a great day, all right?
That is a good one. Gary in Newtown. Gary, who's yours?
I'm going to follow Robert's lead and give credit, unlike Kamala does, to Earl from Tacony and think, wow, what a great idea he had. But let's load that bus with somebody like Hank Johnson and let Kamala hackle and cackle while she's driving the van.
All right, Hank Johnson. He's not widely known enough. All right, controversial one. Joe in Columbus, New Jersey.
This might be the winner, man.
Joe, who's yours?
Dom, it has to be a late-night cartoon. So, for your approval, the Hawk Tua girl.
She's cooled down
What
a
would
little.
that cartoon be?
Yeah, she's cooled down a little bit, Dan, I think. Let's try.
Well, you go down to Wildwood. That's not the case. All those
T-shirt
T-shirt
still
stores
there.
are
Yeah.
still, yeah.
One more we can squeeze in. And, Dan, you suggested this one before. Jim in Broomall. Jim, who's yours?
I gave this a huge amount of thought. The only one it can be is Chris Christie, the Donut Man.
All right.
The Donut Man. I like that.
Oh, God. And that's after
Chris Christie, who's got nothing going except I could be tougher than Trump. He's not tougher than anybody. He's a slob.
Get the hell off the beach.
The slob, on the beach. Oh, sitting in that beach chair, Dan, on the beach and just saying, do something about it.
It's none of your business.
Give me a couple of, what do you say?
The only non-political one we got today was the Hawk Tua girl, which I thought was a fantastic answer. I liked Bernie Sanders pretty early on. Earl had a great show with De Niro, Patton Oswalt, and some other liberals. Judge Marchand with a courtroom cartoon from Joe and Exton. Hank Johnson, also very cartoony kind of character. Gary Newtown.
I could go with Earl's today, though. I thought that was pretty well
De
laid
Niro,
out.
Patton Oswalt, and he laid out a whole pilot episode. It was great.
It was very good. So Earl goes into the hat. And we'll see the winner on Friday. Richie always standing by for 4 big hours next. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210. We'll see you tomorrow on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to getcash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to getcash.com. That's getcash.com. Getcash.com.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming?